There was a time in my life when I stopped setting alarms. Not because I wanted to sleep in, but because I couldn't find a reason to wake up. Every morning, I'd go through the motions like a machine. Make breakfast, change diapers, drop my kid off at school, go to work, come home, clean, cook, do it all over again. No emotion, no energy, and no one knew. I remember standing in the shower once, the water running down my face. Not from the shower head, but from my eyes. I didn't even realize I was crying. I was just empty, like I'd vanished from my own life. No one called me by my name anymore, just Mom. No one asked how I was. No one saw me as a woman with feelings, dreams, or a heart that was quietly breaking. Being a single mom, I learned how to survive. Not because I was strong, but because I had no other choice. I used to believe I didn't deserve happiness. People told me, "At least you have your child. Be grateful." And I was. God knows I was. But gratitude didn't erase the loneliness. It didn't fill the silence when the world forgot who I used to be. I thought I'd made too many mistakes. Loved the wrong person. Stayed too long. Walked away too late. And this life, this struggle, was my punishment. I convinced myself happiness was reserved for people who didn't mess up. People who had it together. People without scars. But I was wrong. One night, after my child had a high fever, I collapsed beside him. When I woke up, he was still holding my hand. Small, warm, trembling a bit, but holding tight. And he whispered, "Mommy, don't go." I cried. Not because I was tired, but because I realized something deep inside me. Maybe I didn't feel lovable, but to this child I was everything. And if I couldn't believe I deserved love, what was I teaching him? Happiness doesn't come from being perfect. It begins the moment you stop treating yourself like someone who needs to be punished. One morning, my son stood at the door holding his tiny jacket. He looked up and asked, "Are you taking me to school today? Or are you tired again?" That hit me hard. His voice was soft. His eyes worried. A child shouldn't have to carry the emotional weight of their parent. But my son had grown used to a version of me that was barely hanging on. In that moment I knew, if I kept living like this, he would grow up thinking women were meant to suffer. That mothers were meant to break. That happiness was something for other people, not for us. I didn't want to pass that kind of pain on to him. So, I started over. Not in some big dramatic way, but in small, quiet steps. I wrote myself a letter. "Dear you, the woman I've abandoned for so long. I'm sorry. I should have protected you better. But starting today, I will love you again. Not because anyone else does, but because you deserve it." I started turning my phone off earlier each night. I listened to music again. I took short walks. I held my son longer. And I stopped blaming myself for everything that went wrong. Because here's the truth. We all make mistakes. But that doesn't mean we have to live like we deserve to suffer forever. I learned how to ask for help. How to say, "I'm not okay." How to admit, "I need a hug too." And slowly, I began to feel whole again. Not because someone rescued me, but because I chose to rescue myself. I am no longer a broken woman. I am a story, a journey, a mother, a woman who deserves softness even in a world that told her to toughen up. One afternoon, my son and I were drawing together. I asked him, "If you could wish for anything, what would it be?" He didn't hesitate. "I wish you'd always smile," he said. "You're the most beautiful when you smile." I held him so tight in that moment, because I realized something I never dared believe before. I don't have to be someone else to deserve happiness. I just have to be me. Softer, kinder, more forgiving to the woman I see in the mirror. Happiness isn't a destination. It's how we walk through each day, with compassion for ourselves, not judgment. You don't have to be a perfect mom. You just have to be real. And you have to love yourself enough to show your child that joy is possible. Even after pain. I used to think I was too broken to be loved. But now I know. Happiness doesn't ask how many times you've fallen. It only asks, do you still believe you're worth standing up for? If you've listened this far, I want you to hear something you may not have heard in a long time. You are worthy of love. Even if you've been hurt. Even if you've made mistakes. Even if you don't believe it yet. And you're not alone. There are more women like you than you think. Quietly healing, quietly rising, quietly choosing themselves again. If this video touched something in you, save it. Send it to a friend. Or just keep it for those days when you need a reminder. You're still here. You are enough. And you deserve a life that feels like peace.